a lot of women and even a lot of men, you don't know, and it's you I'm talking to. You don't know how much impact a love note can make to you until you receive it. But my fear for you is that
May you
might
receive it from your husband or
May you-
your spouse
don't-
or your spouse, actually.
Yeah, so somebody said on one of the videos I watched a while back, and the person was like, the day my husband started writing me love notes is the day our marriage started getting better. Do you love notes? I don't know when last I ever wrote you a love note. Maybe sometimes. Do I send it as text messages or as WhatsApp?
You've never written a love note
I have never.
on paper, and you rarely. I can't remember you sending a love note as an email or as
Wow.
a text or something, or even as a WhatsApp message. I can't
No,
remember.
as a WhatsApp message.
I
for
can't
real?
remember you sending a love note. But if it's like maybe I just sent something that is nice, you can say, "Oh, love you too," or something like that.
Okay.
Or
So I'm not so
maybe,
expressive.
No.
You mean I'm not so expressive in terms of the
Picking
use of
out details with your words, writing it. No.
Okay. But how do I show that I care about you beyond like having to write?
I think
Yeah.
how you show me that you care about me is in acts of service.
Okay.
So like,
But would you do you think it's too late to start writing love notes?
no, I don't think it's too late, and I'm not like saying, okay, this is something that you
Yeah.
must do. But I'm sure that if you do it, it will definitely spice things up. And if you can start it, I'm sure it would also be something that can flow to me. I can also start writing. And if we start that kind of culture, we can also move it to our children, even start writing thoughtful notes to
Yeah.
them, which that means by the time they receive, let's say somebody in schools writes a love note to them, it would not be the first time
That they are receiving
they are
a
receiving
love note,
a
right?
love note. Because I was thinking about something, it just crossed my mind, I think sometime last week or upper week, and I was thinking that there was a job role that I started.
Yeah.
And when I started that job role, I remember that the people that were in that job role or leaving that job role actually wrote like a note to me saying, "You're welcome to this place. Feel relaxed, feel good, and feel just know that you like deserve to be here and make the best of the opportunity and all that." But I was thinking that when I was leaving, I necessarily didn't write any notes, but I met the people that were new. I spoke to them, I advised them and all, but I did not write a note like I received. And so I was thinking about it recently that some people have the culture of actually putting their thoughts to paper and giving it a lasting impact in the lives of somebody. So if I go and check like my documents now, I should be able to see the notes that they sent to me when I first started. So I think that it's a culture that maybe some people don't have, and especially maybe here in the country, we have a lot going on, so we don't write notes. But I think there are some things I've seen that some fathers or some mothers have been the first to actually tell like their children to dress up and take them on a date, not just like the family is going out. No, they properly dress them up for a date. They take them for a date. They give them like a flower and everything that an opposite sex will want to do for their child. So that when the child now goes to class one day and a boy writes the girl a note or a girl writes the boy a note, it's not the first time that they're receiving a love note. So they're like, my dad has given me a note. My mom has given me a note.
It should not just be like a spousal
before. Yes,
thing.
so they are not seeing it for the first time. Same with even husband and wives. I think like when you give your spouse a note, there might be some days that you might not be able to give that note. And the fact that they can go back and read the notes that you wrote might be something that will spice up the marriage. Because I remember
Your dad, right?
growing up, and
your dad was a romantic
and I went to my
Your
mom.
Posse was a romantic
And I'm
dude.
still going to beg her, if she can give me her love notes because I've
Wow.
asked her for it. Then I can create like a journal with it, like
Wow.
scan them and then
Yeah.
create like a fine diary book that has all
Wow.
those love notes because you would actually see how their relationship metamorphosed. Like you would see how they met in the love
Yeah.
note, when they had a good time, when they quarreled, even when one would be writing and sleep off. The person would leave the note like that with the faint handwriting
Wow.
and all that.
Wow.
And the person was like, "Oh, I'm almost sleeping off," and then package it like that and send. And then I remember seeing a note from my mom to my dad, and she was like, that it was good to come and finally see you.
Wow.
Because when I heard that you were not feeling fine, I felt like, oh my God, it's going to be so serious. But when I came and you touched my face, I knew that you were already
Oh.
getting well. And then I saw another one time where she wrote and she was like, are you ashamed of me? When I come and you're with your friends, maybe you want us to go and G somewhere else or something and all that. Then him was so just
Yeah.
couples communicating
Wow.
and all those things and
Wow.
just different love notes and all. So good times, bad times and all. So I think
I think thank God my dad still has like over 100 years to live, you know. I would ask him if, because from what I remember, I know my dad was my dad then, like, my dad was very big on going to visit places, going on trips, going on road trips, going on maybe hotel stuffs, going to beaches, going to recreational places. And my dad writes a lot. So I don't know whether it's the consulting writing that he specialized most in, but I'll try and find out from my mom if my dad used to maybe like do like all those love notes, love letters, all those things.
I
Yeah.
don't think I saw any love notes between them after marriage. Oh. The,
Okay.
the love notes were before marriage.
Before marriage.
So
And,
I
you
don't know. I
Even
don't know.
then, then like social media was not like a thing.
Yeah.
People didn't necessarily have access to mobile phones. So it was just easier, to really write something nice to somebody you really cared about and have it sent in the mail. And that anticipation, like you are waiting, like when is this person going to respond? I remember when I was a teenager, there was a certain lady that I was friends with, and I used to write letters. Teenagers now, they are just getting into that whole
Excited.
excitement phase. I write letters overseas, right? I will now have to wait. Sometimes those letters, I may get the response while I'm in school. That's my boarding house. I'll get a response. So how are you doing? Me too. I'll now send another.
Hey. Wow. Overseas.
Overseas, yeah.
That
Overseas
means
friendships.
You were always thinking far.
So it's really nice. Like you can see how we are giggling and laughing
Yeah.
about it. So it just means that if we can be more deliberate,
Intentional.
it's not just a man to a woman.
Yeah.
It could also be the same way. And when you talked about getting a love note so that somebody is not surprised by it, I feel that couples can actually try it out. You don't want to let it not now be that the first time you are receiving a love note is from maybe your coworker.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you may not be able to understand how words,
The feeling.
the
feeling that you can evoke. Like
yes, you might undermine that. So you need to practice it as a married person, so that maybe you're not on one foreign trip, or maybe you're on a training, or maybe you're in a program
with
where
a
you're
foreigner that understands the value of
when you now
writing.
start getting daily love notes, like you want to run mad. So it's
But
really good.
I think that sometimes we just like we
Marriage just has a way of making you busy.
Yeah,
really.
because I remember
It does.
telling you yesterday that I think that I should even get you a gift to tell you thank you.
Yeah.
You understand? Because sometimes, like when you see things happening outside and you now sit down and think of the spouse that you have, that whole gratitude.
Yeah.
When
And
the
it's
gratitude
mutual, that,
swells
right?
up like that, it should not just swell up
And
in your
deflate.
chest and rest.
Yeah.
It should be able to swell up in your chest and move you to either write a note or get an actual tangible gift to say, I appreciate you
That's
for the
really nice.
work
In
that
fact,
you've been doing.
I would even share. I will share something with you. And there's a team I'm part of. We do all these end of the year gift exchange. In that particular team, I've done that gift exchange for like almost the past 10 years. I can't remember a time within that 8 to 10 years that somebody has kept their promise
To give you.
to give me a gift, but I always buy to give. And recently I was like, I've done this for a long time, and if people can receive and they cannot give, then it's just better don't make it secret, and let us know the person that picked our name, so that we
Yes.
can be able to follow that person face to face,
Yes.
So sometimes you might not know how important some of these gestures, might be, until you now find yourself in a situation where maybe your spouse is not showing that kind of expression. You don't even know that you really appreciate it so much. But you might just be outside and somebody else is like giving you that dose, like giving you
Constant.
constant overdose of that means of
That thing that
communicating
you're
some
not
level of
getting.
affection. So a lot of women and even a lot of men, you don't know, and it's you I'm talking to. You don't know how much impact a love note can make to you until you receive it. But my fear for you is that
When you
might
receive it from your husband or
When you-
your spouse,
don't-
or your spouse, actually.
don't go and receive it from
When you receive it from your spouse and not
one star-studded person that you're like, oh my God, like you may not even be attracted to that person, but that love note
has a way
it
of-
can communicate a different kind of attraction that you may never have even received from your spouse. So if you don't learn to model it, I'm talking to myself too.
Yeah.
I just hope that this is not just for the glam or for TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, but I'm thinking that, okay, I hope if I had some level of accountability, but I really don't need accountability to send you a love note, Yeah, even when I'm angry, I can still send a love note. And it'd be nice to really see how that works.
But what if you now do the love note? Because what I see online is for some of these love notes, like you like keep it by the bed stand, or you keep it on her makeup table, or you put the stuff like in her mirror, or you put it like in the kitchen cabinet, or you keep it where she keeps her books and something like that. But with children now, I'm just thinking, you write a love note, you keep it on the table, a child comes, they pour water on it.
That one is not even a problem.
Yeah.
But it's really nice. It would be
Yeah.
nice to really like try that out. And for some of you that might be in a toxic phase in your marriage right now,
You can even write
and you
it.
don't even want to tell your spouse anything with your mouth,
You can
you
even
can
just
write it. Yeah.
There's a way you can even be angry with somebody, and then your love note is not talking about the now. Your love note is saying, "I remember
Wow.
when I first saw you. Your eyes
Remember
were
when
da da
we
da da da.
met,
Yeah, I remember
when
this.
we
I remember
first
this.
met, that our love will be unconditional.
Yeah.
This love will be unconditional. That was your song, right? No,
Nice,
just
nice.
sing it stands out. Just sing that first. Yeah.
Okay. Remember
What you said.
what you
Yeah.
said when we first met, that our love will be unconditional. Years down the line, baby, a lot of things have
Marriage has changed a lot of
but I like to remind you your words. This love should be unconditional.
Unconditional, unconditional. That's what you said when we met. Unconditional.
Unconditional, unconditional. That's what you said when we met. That's what you said when we met.
Remember what you said.
This love should be unconditional. Unconditional.
So please remember what you said, Remember all those beautiful things that you said. Right now, it might be hard to say those things,
Yeah.
but it might be easier to write it down, Sometimes some things are, maybe a partner is really pissing you off like big time and you don't know how to transmit that emotion of where you guys are both coming from, one of the easiest things you can do is to just write it down.
Or
Put a love
your
note down.
spouse is even traveling and they've packed their things, and you just write like a love note. You put it in their box, and they're
Yeah.
not aware. When they now get to where they're going to, they open their box
Yeah.
and they see a love
It's
note.
really nice, Some mushy is good for life,
Yeah.
Everything should not just be hard. You are thinking of school fees now. This school fees period. Love has disappeared from many marriages.
Oh my.
So let's just take it easy. Keep loving, keep being there, keep supporting, keep leverage on. In fact, your love note can even be a leverage point to another level of another height in your relation. If you want to build momentum towards the consummation of thought processes and feelings in your marriage, you can start that journey on a love note. Yeah, that's the point.
Start that journey on a love note.
Yeah, start the journey on a love note.
Or start that journey with a love note.
Start that journey with a love note. On a love note, like the love note is like a ship.
The car, the ship, or the plane. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I see it.
Start it on a love note.
On a love note.
Yeah. Anyways, anything else you'd like to say about a love note? And love note is not for, like, there's nothing simpy about, sometimes you post things on social media, people say, you are a simp, you are a this, because you are just trying to be affectionate, Some people have lost that affection that God placed on the inside of them when he created them. You can still find it back. Nothing makes you a simp by writing down and telling somebody you love them. But a lot of people, they haven't felt love, so they don't necessarily understand what it means. But the most important component of love that you can gravitate towards is God's love. At least understand that one first.
Be a foundation.
Let that be a foundation. When you can interact with the love of God, then you can now begin to express yourself in other love formats. Emotional love, the other kinds of love, and I believe that with God as your foundation on this journey of love, like, what better love note than to give your life to Christ, like just signing off from the things of the world and redirecting your life to Jesus. Like, for me, that's the greatest love note of all times. You rendering yourself to God and showing God that you really love him, like you are communicating that whole deep-seated, deep-rooted kind of love to God. And guess what God does? God has written the perfect love note already.
Yeah.
That love note that Jesus symbolized.
While we were yet sinners,
oh my God.
Christ died for us.
Yeah, so this is really beautiful. I didn't know that it would have like a God twist, but it's really nice to know that God wrote us the most important kind of love note ever that we can ever think of.
Yeah.
And it's our job on the premise of that, we need to spread love out to the whole nations, spread love out to the world, become that influence of love. Yeah.
What if someone is saying, I don't know where to start in writing a love note? Can you give them like some lines?
Some love note lines.
Yes.
Well, I can you can say things like, you can start from the simple things. Maybe it was very thoughtful of you to have me to get me some warm water to take a shower. Thank you for helping me set out my clothes. Thank you for helping. Just start from the Thanksgiving aspect of it. Then with time, you can now begin to gravitate towards features. Like you can say, oh, like yesterday or today, seeing you today just reminded me of the first time I saw your face, or the first time I had the privilege to really look deeply into your soul, but through the pathway of your eyes. Like I remember this symmetrical, the symmetry, like the symmetry of beauty around you, like your ears, your lashes, your nose, your lips. You just begin to push up on all those words, and you never know what you can create by just looking at your significant other. Like, the words will come out. Trust me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm blushing.
The word's gonna come out. Yeah. It will come out. Keep loving, guys.
Yeah. Keep loving.
He first loved us. That's God.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I just want to add one last thing. He first loved us. Strange, right?
Okay.
You're not expecting that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Bye.